You're only in the friend zone if you allow yourself to be there. No one has the power to put you there. You put yourself in the friend zone when you decide to only be her friend. Point blank period. But at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get out of the friend zone. It doesn't matter if you got there by mistake or on purpose. Most times people stay in the friend zone with the hope that it becomes something more, but more often than not, that never happens. I know that the friend zone is one of the most painful places to be in, especially when you do not want to be in there, but there are some ways to make sure that you do not end up getting locked in there. One of the quickest ways that you want to achieve not being in the friend zone is by letting your intentions be made known as soon as possible. If you like a girl and you want to have a relationship with her, let her know. The mistake that a lot of people make is that they think that they could be best friends first, or they want to be best friends first with the hope that it then translates or becomes a romantic relationship. This is a great thing to do. This is kind of noble, but sometimes ends up being you shooting yourself on the foot, okay? Because you're creating emotional intimacy without making your romantic intentions known. This would lead most times to you getting stuck in the friend zone. It's so much easier than you think for a one-sided relationship to develop between a guy and a girl that share a lot of things together emotionally. I realize that it might not be as easy for some people to be bold and forthcoming about their intentions for a relationship, but the reality is that if that is your purpose for being with this person, sooner or later you would have to let them know. So why not let them know sooner, especially if you're sure that's what you want? From the point of view of a lady, I would say that sometimes it's hard to develop an attraction for someone if they have only come into your life as a best friend that you can confide in, and they have literally gotten comfortable with, you just telling them everything and sharing your daily life with them, and you not letting them know that, hey, I want it to go beyond here. Okay, sometimes what you'll find is that some people get comfortable with that relationship and it becomes sufficient for them. But sometimes you'll find that this lady has a romantic relationship with someone else that she shares with this her bestie that had romantic intentions but didn't make it known. So when he eventually makes it known, it's kind of becomes a bit difficult, especially if she's not really having issues in her relationship and she is not likely to want to explore that route because the relationship she has with you is sufficient. Now, there are also some cases where even if you eventually make your intentions known, the girl in question wouldn't necessarily feel the same way about it, but she would want the friendship to continue and all the perks that come with the friendship. You're being there for her, being available to her whenever she needs you, emotionally and otherwise. And of course, this is selfish, but it happens. The next thing you want to do for sure is prepare for the outcome. This can go one of two ways. There are some situations where you were first friends with the girl and there was no romantic intention initially, and then all of a sudden you started to feel some attraction and you decided to, pursue a relationship with this person, okay? And so you would then have to, because at that point you are now friends, there's some emotional intimacy, there's some BFFness going on. So at that point you will have to make a decision between potentially losing that friendship and risking rejection. If the friendship is more important to you, you would have to forego the possibility of a relationship, and this would obviously mean that you would have to kind of emotionally detach for the sake of your own emotional health. And what do I mean by this? If a guy is interested in you as a girl and he decides to prioritize the friendship over the relationship, the wise thing to do to avoid being in the friend zone is that he should not talk about bring up being in a relationship with you, but he can't keep escalating your emotional intimacy. He can't keep always being available to you. For example, sharing every single thing that happens in their life and in your life as well, because it's only going to end up hurting him. If you're both pouring emotionally into the relationship, but someone wants more, it's going to be hurting the person that wants more, but doesn't want to jeopardize the friendship. No one deserves that. It just makes sense to kind of detach. However, on the other hand, if you're willing to risk the friendship, losing the friendship, then obviously it's time for you to be bold and be forthcoming with your intentions. And it can go one of three ways. The first case obviously is the best case scenario where the person says yes. It's a win-win, everybody's happy. The second case scenario is when the person is like, hey, let's just be friends and see where this goes. This is something that a lot of people hate to hear because they know that they can end up in the friend zone forever if they decide to do this. I personally would advise that if this is the answer you get, you can give it a couple of weeks, max a few months, if you're really that patient. And if the girl still is not forthcoming about, let's give this a chance, I want to be in a relationship with you, you should take a clean break. You should possibly not even, try to be friends, especially if you are very heavily emotionally invested in this person. The only way to get over that is to take a clean break and move on. And the third case scenario is if the response is, let's just be friends, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm not interested in being in a relationship with you. I feel like this is the second best answer because the ball is now in your court and you can decide if you want to keep being friends with this person or not. Like, relationship is out of the question now, so it's now a question of do we want to keep being friends or not, and it's in your court, so you can decide yes or no. So hopefully this gives you some insight into getting out of a friend zone, and I hope this video is helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.